you. Now, we're going to kick off our show. We're going to welcome our two riders to the arena. These guys are both experienced instructors at the off-road school, the off-road skills school down in South Wales. So we're going to call them in. Let's have a round of applause for our two demo riders. We've got Mr. Neil Hawker. Hello. And on the GSA, we've got Mr. Ben Hardy-Grounds. Now, first of all, before we go again, has anyone not got a bike license? There's one, perfect. Are you here on purpose? You weren't looking for the Christmas show next door? If you've not got a bike license or you've never ridden a motorcycle, they're really good. If you go and see the guys over on the rider training desk there, they've got a rolling road, so you can go and have a ride on a bike on a rolling road. You don't need a license, they'll teach you how to do it. Another one there you go, get them over. If you've got mates with you that haven't ridden, drag them on over. It's like a gateway drug. You start there and then the next thing you know you've got 18 bikes in your garage and no money anymore. You haven't paid for that extension you were going to do to the kitchen, but
you've got way more than that.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. Yeah, definitely talk to the rider training guys. They do a full rider scheme, so you can go from CBT all the way through to your direct access course. They also do a deal at the moment, so if you book your direct access course with them, they give you £1,000 off a new bike. So you'll be able to buy one of these lovely R12 GS G/S's for £1,000 off. Neil, I know you're dying to get riding on this thing. So part of our show this year, we wanted to do a little bit of the story of the GS through the ages and through the range. So we've got a bit of a spread of bikes throughout the range to show you today. We're going to do some different rides on all of them, talk through some of the tech, show some of the things you can get up to them. Neil started off on one of the instructor favourite bikes down at the off-road school, which is the R12 GS. It's more than just a cool looking scrambler. It's a scrambler with an actual genuine bit of heritage back to the original R1300 GS, which kind of arguably started the whole adventure bike thing back in the 70s and 80s. Neil, you've not been allowed to ride that bike this year because the other instructors keep beating you to it, but what is it about riding that one on and off-road that makes it so special?
Like Chris just said, honestly, we've had one all year, and between 15 instructors, I think Gwyn's hogged it every time we have a school or a trip. So this is probably one of the first times I've probably ridden it. I've fallen in love with it. Just the looks. I mean, if you're going to go to the cafe off-road, you're going to have to look cool as well, aren't you? So yeah, I love it. And I mean, listen to it. It's just a beautiful engine. Smooth. It's like a little sewing machine there. I can move around the bike. It's lovely.
And it might be a cool cafe racer, but it's still got the ability to do stunts and donuts and wheelies, especially when Neil's on it. Just because it's a retro looking bike doesn't mean that you miss out on the technology either. It's got the proper ABS systems on it, it's got a shift assist, quick shifter on it, and again, the ABS systems on these bikes are so good. They're developed on and off-road, so if you want to start riding them on a few trails, you've got that safety there when you put it into the enduro mode. And again, obviously our one at the off-road school, we inspect all the enduro package, so we've got the bigger off-road wheels, spoked wheels, and a few bits stripped off to make it a bit more off-road focused. Now, and it still does jumps as well. I'm going to jump from one end of the spectrum, so that one's the kind of the homage to the original R1300 GS. At the other end of the spectrum, we've got the bike that Ben's riding on. That's kind of the pinnacle of BMW's adventure bikes. It's all the technology, all the stuff they've learned over years and years and years and years of developing and riding these things, put into a proper big adventure touring package. This one in particular is the R1300 GS Adventure with the auto shift assist, automated shift assist, which is the clutchless system, and of course it's got the adjustable ride height. Ben, I want you to come up here because I want you to just show us. There's lots of talk about technology on bikes these days, and there's a lot available, but for us, we want technology to make riding better. We don't want things that get in the way of riding. We don't want our bikes to turn. Has anyone got one of those cars that grabs the steering wheel when you're trying to drive it? Yeah? It's really annoying, isn't it? We don't want to see that technology on bikes, so BMW's worked hard to make sure the tech that comes into bikes only makes them better to ride. It doesn't interfere and annoy you. So, Ben, I want you to just show us the automatic height control, which is something that people are often worried about, being able to get their feet down on a bike, and this bike's got a solution.
Yeah, Chris, I'm sorry, I didn't realise how loud I was then. The feature on this bike, the automated ride height, is so good. So at the moment I'm in tool mode. I'm slightly vertically challenged. I'm not the tallest person out there. just about on my tippy toes. And if I put it down the low mode, it goes down at the back and then down at the front, and now suddenly I've got a good sure footing. And then if I press of a button, I come up at the back and up at the front there. And what's really great about that is in the enduro mode, it stays as whatever I set it. So when I'm going through rollers like these ones here, I need the ground clearance. You know, I don't want that bike to be in the low mode. But when I switch it into the road mode or the dynamic mode, it does it automatically for you. So what it will do is when it senses that you're 15 miles an hour or less, that it will go into the low setting on the bike, so that when I stop at the traffic lights, I can stop, put my foot down, and then when I pull away again, it automatically rises up, and I've got all the benefits of the full travel of the bike. So it's really, really special.
Now the next thing I want to talk about quickly, we'll have a show of hands. We'll start with this end. Has anyone ever stalled a motorcycle? Neil, put your hand up. Yeah, thank you. There's a few people being very dishonest there. What about this end? Has anyone on this end ever stalled a motorcycle? There we go. This is the honest end of the room, I've decided. Now, we've got the bike for you. So Ben's on the automated shift assist bike, which if you look at his left hand, there's no clutch lever there. It's a system, again, we were all a little bit sceptical about because we don't like having control taken away from us. And I think that's typical of motorcyclists. We like to control our bikes, but it's actually been really impressive, Ben, hasn't it? It doesn't really take anything away from your riding in most normal circumstances, but it gives you that little option to not stall it or get out of a tricky situation on a hill start.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, Chris. It's like buying someone else's really good clutch control. You go to the shop and have the clutch control of Mr. Neil Hawker over there. That's pretty special. So, you know, the bike's in gear. I don't even need my left hand. I just use my right hand on the throttle, pull away, I can roll through the rollers, and then we'll see if we can get around this turn one-handed. So normally on a standard bike with a clutch, you would need to be slipping the clutch a lot around there. But this is fantastic because you don't, you know, it makes weird things like, you know, hill starting weirdly easy. You know, I don't have to do anything with my left hand. It's a really refined and works really well.
So basically you're saying the bike's doing it all for him there?
I'm going to say it's all very well. It's quite annoying watching you do this one-handed while talking calmly to us at the same time, Ben. It's you're not winning any friends here. We'd all like to be able to ride like you. So the next bike I'm going to jump across to, Neil switched onto. This is one of the kind of staple bikes on the off-road skills fleet. It's another 1300. You know, the one Ben's on, that's an R1300 GS Adventure, and that's an R1300 GS. One thing that has changed probably most in the lifetime of the GS, when the very first R80G/S came out, a motorbike, technology on a motorbike was considered, electric start was considered a good thing. That was exciting. And now there's so many options and everyone's got a different view on what they do and don't want on a bike. And I think that's one thing that's great about the GS range is you can spec them to absolutely anything. You can have a big touring one, massive boxes, big screens, or you can have one like this, which is a much more stripped down enduro spec bike with the skinny seat, the skinny grab rail. Neil, we've spent a lot of time teaching people on these bikes, and as well as the fact that they can do ridiculous stuff, they're very easy to ride, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm from an off-road background, and when I get a chance to go on the road, it blows my mind how good this is. And when you're off-road, it's just a big enduro bike. Honestly, it is insane what it can do. It surprises me. We go out to Portugal, play around on these bikes, and what it is capable of, going up and down some massive hills, is really, really mind-blowing.
These aren't massive hills, Neil. But Neil's alluded to there, so at the off-road school down in South Wales we've got, have we got anyone who's been to the off-road skills school in Wales? It's a few people have been down. It's a 4,000 acre site. Did you enjoy your 2 days there? I'm glad you said yes, that would have been really embarrassing if you've had a horrible time. It's a massive site where you can ride these bikes, and we take everyone from complete off-road beginners through to being able to ride the stuff that Neil and Ben are riding in the arena. And it's a good example of just how versatile these bikes are, because you can teach someone to ride their first steps off-road. They're really well balanced, they're really easy to use the clutch on there. They look big initially if you're coming off-road on them, but you build a lot of confidence very quickly, don't you, Nick?
It's unbelievable, honestly. Look at the picture there, if you can see that picture. It's a beautiful place to ride motorbikes. and these really do showcase that. But when it comes to the actual teaching side of things, these bikes really are the easiest bike to learn on. They might not look it, because of the size of them, but they stand up on their own. It's only us that make them fall over. But all this slow, low speed, really bike confidence stills, we do a lot of, and yeah, this bike showcases that. And when you get better, you can do bigger things.
And one of the things we've tried to do as much as possible is make this stand interactive, because sitting and looking at bikes is great, but we all like riding them and fitting them. So after the show ends, as well as being able to go on the rolling road over at Rider Train, we've got an interactive stuff in here. So if you want to come and handle a bike that's not bolted to a stand, learn some of our bike handling drills. It's all static engine off stuff. See the guys on the World of BMW desk there, they'll get you signed in. You can come and have a little balance. If you're thinking about buying one of these and you want to sit on it and feel the weight of it, come and speak to one of us. We'll happily talk you through this stuff. Now, has anyone on here ever had a puncture on a motorcycle? Where do you ride, you lot? If you've never had one, there's one puncture. How about you lot? Anyone had a puncture? Few people. I think you lot are speaking to me, that lot are not. I don't know what I've done to upset that end of the room so far. If you've ever had a puncture, you'll know it's a massive pain and it can spoil a good ride. If you go and see the guys on Motorrad Tours, where are they? There they go. They've got a puncture repair station, so they can teach you how to repair your own punctures. That's good for two things. One, if you can repair your own puncture, you can keep on riding. Two, if you can repair your mate's puncture, he then owes you lunch, which is always an excellent little bit of currency to have over your friends. Now, we're going to jump to our final bike of the show now, which is Ben there on the F900 GS. If you came to the show last year, you'll remember this bike was bolted to the stand and none of us had ridden it. We've been dying to get out for a spin on it, and Ben and Neil have had a lot of time on it this year. Neil actually raced a 24-hour enduro using an F900 GS. This bike is a much more off-road focused version of the GS. It's got the longer travel suspension, it has 21-inch front wheels, skinnier tyres. It's a physically skinnier bike, it's a bit more stripped down. Still capable of doing big miles, but if your idea of a good adventure ride involves 10% tarmac and 90% dirt, this thing is great for covering distance off-road on. And as Ben's shown in the arena now, that long travel suspension, that bigger front wheel, it just gives you that little bit more ability to hit stuff harder. Ben, are you finished?
I'm finished, sorry, I got distracted.
I think we better get Ben over the jump, that's what we need to see next. So, does anyone want to see Ben jump the gap on the F900?
No.
Nobody wants to ski it. Ben, come on, let's get you over the gap on the F900.
You know this is quite a big bike to take over that.
And Ben, just before you go, you have got to stop before you get to the other end. Just a heads up.
Yeah, I've forgotten about that.
Don't hit the expensive car on the other side. Let's get Ben over the jump. Ladies and gentlemen, that's got to be worth a round of applause. He's not got a lot of room to work with in here. Now, I'm sure Neil's going to want to go at it as well, so we'll get Neil over the jump up. Ben's found another jump. I think what we'd all like to see, Ben, I'd like to see if we can get the bike with no clutch lever over the jump. Neil Hawker's over it as well. Neil.
Yeah.
Do you reckon Ben can do it on the big bike? Can we have a little game of follow the leader? So we'll get you to ride stuff. Ben's got to copy you on the 30-litre fuel tank, no clutch lever, adaptive height, the big touring bike. We should put panniers on it for next year. I think we'll put boxes as well. So let's see what Ben can do. This is kind of a little bit of a proving the point of all of the GSs, they do different things better than the other ones. You know, there's one set up for more touring stuff, there's one set up for off-road, but there's not a bike in this arena that isn't capable off-road. And Ben and Neil are just going to hammer that point home now. Neil's over the gap. Ben's over the gap. Neil, I think Ben went higher than you. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a massive round of applause for Mr. Neil Hawker and Mr. Benjamin Harley-Ground. Thanks ever so much for watching the show. Remember, come and catch us if you want to get involved in any of the interactive exercises, and have a fantastic rest of your day at Motorcycle Live. Thank you.